Hi everyone, this is Nim Kolkar. Welcome to Sunday Chats with Nim. I'm going to wait for a few moments just to make sure that the notification has gone through and that everyone gets a chance to log in and join us. So hopefully you've all had a nice Sunday so far. My apologies, last week I wasn't able to do my usual episode of Sunday Chats because I think I was at a workshop that weekend. I can't remember, but here I am today. And today is just going to be a general Q&A session. So there's no specific topic that I have planned for this evening, but I have put together a list of a few questions that people have either emailed me or sent me via message, and I'm unable to answer these one-on-one. So I thought it's a good opportunity to answer those queries on this platform so that if any of you also have similar questions, then you'll get the answer to those as well. Now, if you have any question that you've always wanted to ask me, this is a good opportunity to use a Q&A session, which I do once every couple of months. So if there's anything you want to ask me, feel free to type those in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them, if I know the answer, that is. So I'll just quickly say my hi's. Hi, Esther. How are you? And Jyoti, good morning to you too. Well, it's good afternoon here in Sydney, but yeah, probably good morning in your part of the world. So everyone, make sure as you log in to take a moment to say hi to me because I love to hear where all my viewers are logging in from. Alrighty, so we're just going to do a general Q&A session, but before I do that, I have a few exciting announcements to make. I'm sure those of you who've been following what I write on social media may be aware, but I thought I'll let you know again. So I'm really delighted to let you know that recently I launched my own book publishing company, which is called NIMS Media. And the reason I did that is because I believe that all of you have a story in you. All of us have a story that we want to share with the rest of the world, but we're not sure how to go about getting that first book published. So because I'm so passionate about helping aspiring authors share their incredible journeys with the rest of the world, that's the reason I was actually inspired to finally launch my own book publishing company. So that is NIMS Media. Do look out for it on Facebook. I have a page, so please go and like it. And if you ever want to write your own first book and share your incredible story with the rest of the world, do get in touch with me and we can talk more about book publishing. So this year through NIMS Media, I'm really excited to let you know that one of the books we are launching is a book by the one and only Paul McKenzie, who's written an incredible book called Property and Conveyancing Made Easy. So it's got some amazing topics that are explored in that book. So do watch this space. We will be sharing more information. And of course, I am launching also my fourth book, which is called Success Cafe. Takeaways for Everyday Success. So it's a motivational self-help book that promises to push you out of your comfort zone and finally do all the things that you've always wanted to do in life. Hi, Jazz. How are you? Looking pretty. Thank you. How are you, Shrivani? Congratulations, Tim. Thank you so much. I'm really excited about book number 4 coming out very, very soon. So that's going to be launched on the 29th of November, as will also be Paul McKenzie's book, which I just talked about, which is called Property and Conveyancing Made Easy. So congratulations, Paul. I actually just finished interviewing Paul for my YouTube show, The Achievers Lounge, and very soon in the next week or so, we will be sharing the recording of that interview. Alrighty, so let's begin with Sunday Chats with Nim. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nim Kolkar. I am an author, motivational speaker, and life coach based in Sydney, Australia. And Sunday Chats with Nim is my very casual Facebook live show, which I've been doing for the past 2.5 years. And thank you so much to all you wonderful people who've been with me on this journey for the last 2.5 years. I really appreciate all the love and all the support you have all shown me over the years. So every couple of months for Sunday Chats with Nim, I do what is known as a general Q&A session. So if there are any questions that you've not had the opportunity to ask me, then this is a great time to do so. I do get a lot of messages and emails from people who ask questions about certain challenges that they might be going through at the moment. But unfortunately, because of the volume of questions I get, it is not very easy for me to respond one-on-one with everyone. So that's why this Q&A session is great, because that way I can answer as many queries as possible. Hi Chandni, thank you so much for the very kind wishes. Thank you. All right, so while I wait for you all to ask me some question, I have prepared a list of a few questions that people have written to me over the last few months. So one of the questions that I got through email was from this person who wants to know about how they can go about finding their life purpose. So this person has asked me, hi Nim, I just wanted to find out how can I go about finding my life purpose? Is there any roadmap to figure it out? Now I'm sure many of you watching might have also thought about and reflected on this thing about life purpose, right? Finding what it is that you were born to do. I'm sure many of you might have wondered how you can go about figuring out your life purpose. Now, there is no magic button that will miraculously help you discover what your life purpose is. I wish there was, but unfortunately, there isn't. When you talk about life purpose or the purpose of being, what I want you to know is that the best way to figure out what it is that you were born to do is to actually get out there and start trying out new things. Become curious about all the wonderful opportunities that life can offer you, and be prepared to fail at a few things, because it's only when you try new things and you fail at them that you finally figure out what it is that you truly enjoy or what it is that you are really passionate about. But if you're scared of failure and if you prevent yourself from stepping outside your comfort zone and trying out different new things, then you're never going to find your life purpose. A lot of people mistakenly believe that personally, I was born knowing what I wanted to do, but nothing could be further from the truth. I had no idea when I was growing up that I wanted to be a motivational speaker someday, or a life coach someday, or even an author for that matter. Well, I did know that I wanted to write one particular book, which finally turned out to be my first book, Diary of an Immigrant Bride. But the rest of it was a very organic journey, right? When I wrote my first book, then people invited me to speak at literary festivals, and because the book Diary of an Immigrant Bride was about a young woman's search for identity, I was asked to speak on that topic. And when these opportunities sort of knocked at my door, I raised my hand and said, yes, why not? Let me try it out. I had no idea if I would enjoy public speaking. I had no idea if I would enjoy speaking to large audiences. But by saying yes to new opportunities, and by realizing that I'm actually enjoying it, that's how slowly I started figuring out what it is that I want to do in life. Okay, so like this reader who's written to me asking, how do I find my life purpose? If you have wondered that at some point in your life, I just want you to start being curious about everything life has to offer. When opportunity knocks at your door, say yes, and then figure out how you're going to do. That's one of my favorite mantras. Say yes first and figure it out later. Because once you're committed, once you say yes, when your back is to the wall, you simply have to figure out a way to get it done. Okay, so try lots of stuff. There will be many things that you'll not be good at. There'll be many things that you will not enjoy. That's fine. You know, it's process of elimination, and that's how you're going to figure out finally what it is that you enjoy doing. All right, thank you, Jyoti, for the kind wishes. Jyoti says, congrats. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Hi, Vandana. It's always motivating to listen to you, Nim. Thank you, Vandana. That's very sweet. I think we can all do with a little bit of motivation, isn't it? People think that motivational speakers wake up every morning 24/7 super motivated. Again, nothing could be further from the truth. Most mornings I actually wake up completely unmotivated, not wanting to do anything. But like I say, motivation is an overrated word. What I really believe in is momentum, which is basically just taking one small step ahead and then another and another. And as you take a series of small steps, the momentum keeps you going. So don't wait to feel motivated before you do all the wonderful stuff you want to do in life. You're never going to feel motivated to do it. You just have to take the first step and then let momentum do the rest. All right, so that was it about life purpose. That was the first question that one of my readers had sent to me. Is there anything else anyone wants to know specifically about finding life purpose? If there is, please type it in the comments. I'm only going to be able to answer questions during the live session. So if you do type after the session has ended, unfortunately, I won't be able to address your questions. But if there's anything you want to ask me, please do so. And I believe Jyoti has a question. But ma'am, can we start at the age of 40? Absolutely, Jyoti. In fact, me personally, I started on this journey after I turned 40. Till I was 40, I was doing, a lot of corporate jobs, and I was in jobs that I wasn't necessarily happy in, right? But finding my life purpose and all that stuff actually started after I turned 40. So yes, there's definitely hope, Jyoti. In fact, I always say that age is just a number. It's all about mindset. It is never too late. You know how I often share this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt? It goes, I hope I remember it right, but it goes something like this. Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. I find that such an empowering quote. I'm going to say it again. Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. So Jyoti, just to take your question, let's say a person is 40 today, okay? 1 year later, that is next year, they're only going to be 41. And the year after, they're going to be 42. So today is the youngest you'll ever be, ever again. You're only going to get older. So why not now? Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do certain things after a certain age. Maybe there are some things that we are not able to do as we grow older because of physical limitations, etc. But definitely you can, if not do exactly what you want to do, you can do a version of it. You can do something that takes you as close as possible to what you wanted to do when you were years younger. So to answer your question, Jyoti, yes, definitely you can start at the age of 40, you can start at the age of 50, you can start at the age of 60. Don't let anyone make you believe that it is not possible. Okay, it's just about whether you're starting at 40 or you're starting at 50. The most important thing to remember is that you will have to step outside your comfort zone, because all the magic happens outside the comfort zone. If we remain snug and safe inside our comfort zone, we're really not going to achieve much, and we're certainly not going to figure out our life purpose, because life purpose actually is outside our comfort zone. Okay, so ask yourself, when was the last time I did something for the first time? When was the last time I did something for the first time? And if it's been a long time since you did anything new, anything challenging, anything a little frightening, then it's time for you to step outside your comfort zone. All right, so thank you for that question, Jyoti. For those of you who just logged in, we're doing a Q&A session today. So if you have any question that you've always wanted to ask me related to anything, personal development, professional development, advancing in your career, communication skills, whatever it might be, please ask me. And if I know the answer to that, I'll be more than happy to share that with you. All right, so another question I received from a reader was about social media and how she feels a little bit anxious and inadequate after she spends time on social media. So basically what this lady is saying to me is that whenever she logs into her Facebook account and she sort of spends some time reading what everyone else has to share and seeing all their wonderful pictures, etc., she feels a little anxious and inadequate. So probably it makes her feel like her life is very boring in comparison to everyone else's life, and that everyone else is, living an amazing, incredible life, whereas her life is completely boring. So that's basically what I gathered from this question. So I just I've actually written articles on this topic as well, right? It is a very, very common phenomenon, feeling sad after spending time on social media. If you're on Facebook and you spend a lot of time surfing through Facebook and reading what everyone else has to write and watching their amazing pictures and stuff like that, you might actually start believing that everyone is living a dream life, right? A problem-free life, and that only your life is the one that is so bad, or that you're the only one who's a failure. But again, nothing could be further from the truth. People only post all the good stuff on social media, right? They only talk about happy times. They're not going to talk about times when they failed. They're certainly not going to post photos of their messy home. None of that. Okay, so before you start assuming that everyone else's life is perfect and yours is not, I just want you to remember that no one is going to talk about the bad stuff on social media. They're only going to share the good stuff. So everyone's life is made up of happiness and sadness. No one is exempt from their share of pain or sorrow, right? Everyone has their own struggles and their own challenges, but most people will not share that on social media. So don't let it fool you. Don't let it make you feel inadequate, insecure, or as though you're a complete failure, because you're not. All right? All right, so does anyone have any questions regarding social media that they want to ask me? And would you agree that yes, social media can sometimes make people feel a little bit anxious, a little bit unhappy? I think it's a very, very common phenomenon. And I've written an article probably a year ago, so you'll be able to find it on my blog, which can be found on my website, and that is www.nimsniche.com. All right, so I have a last question from one of my readers. And if none of you have any other question for me, then I'm going to wrap up very, very soon this Q&A session. So one of my readers actually sent me a question about worrying. So he says, I worry a lot, especially about things that happened in the past, things that people said to me. How can I overcome this habit? Okay, so this young gentleman worries a lot, and particularly about things that have happened in his past and things that have happened, things people said to him, etc. And he's obviously not able to let go of the ghosts of his past. And he wants to know about how he can overcome this problem. Again, this is a very common problem. Many people cling to their past. They cling to things that happened many, many years ago, opportunities that they perhaps missed, decisions that went wrong, people who hurt them, people who cheated them. So living in the past can actually become quite a dangerous habit that one can get addicted to. And if we continue to have permanent residence in the past, then it's going to stop us from achieving many of our future goals. Okay, so I always like to say that the past is done and dusted. The past is done and dusted. The future is yet to be lived. So where do you need to focus? You certainly can't focus on your past because that's gone. The future has not even happened yet. So the only thing that's within your power to change is the present moment. And yet, unfortunately, so many of us are spending precious time that we're never going to get again. Because as we all know, once time goes, it's gone forever. If you lose $5, you can earn $5 back. But if you lose 5 minutes of your life, you're not going to get those 5 minutes back, no matter how hard you try. We cannot put back the clock, right? So the only thing that's within our power, that's right, Jyoti, is the present moment. And yet we fritter away that present moment. We don't give it the value it deserves. So if, like this gentleman who wrote to me, who said he worries a lot about things that happened in the past, if you too are in the same boat, if you are constantly living in the past, if you are sad about something that happened years ago, I just want to let you know that you need to look back just long enough to learn whatever lesson it is that your past is trying to teach you. Because when we make mistakes, when we make decisions that go wrong, there is a lesson that is embedded in that mistake. Unfortunately, what most of us do is we cry our heart out because we made a mistake. We cry our heart out because someone betrayed us. But once we finish crying, then we move on to the next problem. But what we forget to do is actually study the lesson that's hidden within that mistake. Okay, so what I like to do, and this is still work in progress, by no means have I perfected this art, but it's something I practice on a daily basis, is when I look back at whatever happened, in the past or in the last 24 hours, any mistakes I may have made, and trust me, I make many. So what I do is, yes, of course, I cry about any mistakes that I've made or any decisions that went wrong or wherever I may have failed in my endeavors. But what I also do once I've finished crying is I actually take some time to reflect on what went wrong and why it went wrong and what is the lesson that life is trying to teach me. Because trust me, life is constantly trying to teach us lessons on a daily basis. But we are too busy running from pillar to post, from dawn to dusk. We don't have time to reflect on the lessons that life is trying to teach us. In fact, my second book, for those of you who have read it, Unlock the Real You, every chapter is actually a mistake that I have made personally, either in my personal life or my professional life. And I actually studied all those mistakes and finally figured out what life was trying to teach me back then. And that's how the book was born. Right? So instead of worrying about something that happened in your past, do look back at the past, because look, it has an important role to play in our lives as a teacher, not as anything else. Our past mistakes are our best teachers. So what you need to do is, if you've been constantly thinking about the same thing again and again and again, things that may have happened years ago, what I want you to do is just take some time and look back and figure out what it is that life was trying to teach you whenever that thing happened, whenever that incident happened, whenever that mistake happened. So learn that lesson, memorize it so that you don't forget it and don't make the same mistake again in future. Okay? But once you've learned the lesson that that mistake is trying to teach you, just kiss that mistake goodbye and release it into the universe. Release it into the embrace of the universe. And once you've released it, I want you to know that it no longer belongs to you. That worry, that mistake you made in the past, long, long ago, now that you've released it into the universe, it belongs to the universe. It does not belong to you. And how can you worry about something that no longer belongs to you? You have no right anymore to worry about it. Let the universe figure out what it needs to do with it, because you've handed it over to the universe. It's no longer yours. Okay? So make sure you take time to reflect on whatever it is that life was trying to teach you via that mistake or via that sad experience that you had in the past. But once you've learned the lesson, let it go. Okay? Look towards your future with hope. But even more important than that, explore the present moment and enjoy it to the fullest, because that's all that we have within our power. Not the past, not the future. The past is done and dusted. The future is yet to be lived. But the present, that is a gift. And many of us, unfortunately, are not giving this gift the love and the importance that it deserves. Alrighty, so that's it from me for today. This was just a general Q&A session. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And like I say, do look out for my fourth book, which is, what is it again? Oh yeah, of course, I forgot the name. Success Cafe. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I came up with this title for the book, okay? For the longest time, I was tossing up between different book titles. And trust me, for any author, finding out the title of the book is perhaps more difficult than writing the entire manuscript. So anyway, I had like 4 or 5 different book titles prepared, but I wasn't very happy with any of those book titles, right? And then one morning, a few weeks ago, I was walking the dog, and we were just taking a different route that day, not the usual way we normally go. And as I was walking, I happened to see this little cafe tucked away in a corner. And on the footpath, they had kept a little board which just said cafe open. And I was just looking at those two words, cafe open, right? And this thought struck me out of nowhere. Typically, what would you go in to order at a cafe? Typically, you'd walk into a cafe and you'd order a coffee, or you'd offer scones and jam and cream, or you'd offer a friand, or you'd offer a muffin or a cupcake or whatever, right? But then I thought, what if there was a cafe where you could walk in, and depending on how you were feeling that day, let's say you were feeling a bit low on self-confidence, what if you could go into a cafe and order a little bit of self-confidence and strategies on how you can become more confident? Or let's say you had decided to finally step outside your comfort zone and do something wonderful with your life. Imagine if you could walk in and on the menu of this cafe, there was a little item where it taught you how to step outside your comfort zone. So that's how the title finally came to me. And I thought, oh, I'm going to call this book Success Cafe, because on the menu, which is the contents page or the index, is basically all the different chapters are stuff on the menu of Success Cafe, things that will help you become more confident, communicate better, have better relationships, and in general, be the success that you were born to be. So that's how the title for my fourth book, Success Cafe, came about. So that's due to be launched on the 29th of November. So watch this space. I'll be sharing lots more interesting information with you all very, very soon. All right. So I'm going to wrap up soon, but I'm just going to make sure I haven't missed any comments. Atiya, sorry, you did comment earlier, but I didn't read it. So I'm going to read it now. Hi, Naeem. It's always so good listening to you. I feel at age of 41, I'm struggling to retain information as I'm planning for further study. That's very, very exciting that you've taken on study, Atiya. Well done. We must never stop learning. I always say it's so important for us to wear a student's hat throughout our journey here on this planet, because the day we stop learning, that's the day we stop evolving. And where's the fun in that? So good luck to you, Atiya, with your studies. Very brave of you, but very admirable as well. All right. And Shivani says, you really helped me with my emotions. Naeem, love you. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you, Shivani. Good luck with all the dreams and goals that you have on your bucket list. Coming to bucket list, I hope you all have a bucket list and that there are things that you want to do. Of course, someday after we are done with this whole lockdown stuff. But I think having a bucket list is a good idea. So if you don't have a bucket list, please do make one. For those who don't know what a bucket list is, it's pretty much just a list of stuff that you want to do while you're here on Earth. Okay, places you want to visit, opportunities you want to take up, stuff you want to do. Just make a bucket list. Dream big. Unless you dream big, how are you going to achieve any of it? Alrighty, so that's it. Do make a bucket list. And Mridula says, nice title. Jyoti says, nice title. Thank you, ladies. Yes, I agree with you. I think it is a nice title. And I'm so glad I had that spark of inspiration that day as I was walking the dog, because otherwise I would have had to contend with one of the other titles that I had worked out. Alrighty, so that's it from me for today. It's always a pleasure to spend a part of my Sunday afternoon with all of you. Have a fabulous week ahead. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you next week with yet another topic to help you get ahead, both personally and professionally. Lots of love to all of you. Take care. Bye.